Well, this is none other than your host, Steve from the back. This is yet another Mugen video with maybe a little rant, maybe a little ranting added onto it. So, I'm gonna basically, in this video, either review or feature one of my favorite characters. Now this character is a character that I'm not really proficient with. It took me some practice to really understand this character more. Usually when I play with this guy, it's usually just I tend to button smash, and I know a couple of his moves, but that's only the tiniest layer of this character, really. This character has a very unusual playstyle. So, the character is Omega Red, and, this is one of those characters that I really like because not only is it just a really unusual, weird, cool character. If you're familiar with X-Men already, then you probably already know who Omega Red is. But this character, a funny thing about this character is, see, you don't personally know me, so this character doesn't look like me in appearance, but this character has a lot of postures and movements that are very similar to very odd movements that I actually do, that you wouldn't that you normally wouldn't see any person moving in that way or having that type of posture. But that's one reason why I've always really liked this character, because it's I feel like I relate to this character. It's one of those characters that I feel like it's kind of a me character, at least in its parts of its movement. This character is wild. When I say wild, Omega Red looks like he is a caveman, like he is a wild animal. Omega Red, he's hunched over all the time. He looks like he's always about to jump on someone. He looks like he's prowling. He walks like he's prowling, or he's stalking something. He literally looks like a monkey hopping around, kind of like how the Hulk hops around. I do the same thing. So, that's one thing I really. And he just looks crazy. I don't know if you ever played Rival Schools, and I'm kind of ranting, but I feel like it's worth a rant. So, those of you who know who Omega Red is, or maybe if you don't, you kind of get an idea. If you've ever played Rival Schools and you played with the character Edge, you know how Edge has that. He just has that that I don't give a shit, wild, crazed, just kind of a crazed look about himself, because he's just kind of nuts. He's just crazy. He's just wild. He's I didn't do a review on this per se character in a game, but I did some kind of I did use some imagery from the character of the Creeper from Batman. That's another character that very much reminds me of myself, the Creeper. Because he's just wild. He doesn't really mean to be, but he's just naturally is just wild as fuck. And that's the way I am. If you don't know me, but if you were to know me and you were to spend enough time around me, you would notice that I just give no fucks. And it shows in my movements and mannerisms, because naturally I just don't have, I don't know what it is, I just naturally don't have for the most part. Obviously sometimes I do just walk like a normal person and stand up completely straight, but I tend to crawl, to slouch, and to hunch, and tend to to hop sometimes instead of just, I guess you could say, walking, or sometimes instead of just walking, I'd rather scurry or sprint, because I'm just that crazy. Like literally, it's kind of like if you were to try to put, it's like you're trying to put a monkey in a man's body. There's no, I just don't know any other way to be. I really just don't. I don't really know how or have any desire to be any different. It's just the way I am just naturally. So I don't know, man. This Omega Red it's like he speaks to me, and he just has this I don't know if it's an anger, but it seems just like a wildness to this character. Like even the way they animate this character, he just looks crazed. Like he looks fucking insane. Like he looks like a psychopath. Like he just does not. He seems unhinged. I think that's kind of the word I'm looking for. He seems unhinged in a very primitive, wild way. Like kind of like Wolverine, kind of like how Wolverine they kind of animate Wolverine in a very similar fashion. He's very hunched over. You know, he looks like he's ready to literally spring on someone like an ambush predator. Like he's ready to just jump all the time. And the Berserk, I think it's Berserker Barrage or Berserk Claw or something. It's just wild and crazy as fuck. I don't know. Like, I wonder if it's Japanese people or Americans that animated these characters, but I don't know. They have that element to them. Not all of them, but at least Wolverine and Omega Red both have that like crazed animalistic element to them that I'm familiar with because that is just me all around. It's like, so I love that about Omega Red. That's like my favorite thing about him is when he walks, he looks like he's just like crazed. He looks crazy. Like he looks like an animal. Like he's just literally it's like it's cuz I'll admit it, with me it's kind of like you're walking but you feel like you should be crawling. It's like you kind of, and I do sometimes I do, depending on how I'm like how sore or how tired I am or whatever. Sometimes I will just crawl. I will sometimes. I'll literally just get down on all fours and just crawl because it's just natural. It just doesn't, sometimes when I go to the beach, I do the same thing. If I'm in the water long enough, and honestly, I can't swim. Sorry. Spoiler, the black guy who can't swim, cliche, I can't swim, honestly, so I get in the shallow water and I just crawl around, and by the time that I get out of the water, I get so accustomed to the weightlessness that I've been crawling so long that it just feels so natural that I'm hunched completely when I get out the water. And it's funny because a friend of mine that used to take me, well, she would swim, but I can't swim, so I wouldn't swim. I just play around in the water. She'd be like, Steve, stand up straight. She like just stand up because it's natural. I revert back to like an ape or like a infant. I always revert to that. I always revert back to just crawling around. So Omega Red is a completely colorless, red-eyed, blonde-haired, caveman-looking, supposed to be Russian, looks like a cyborg or something, looks crazy as fuck, looks actually kind of disturbing, honestly. It's kind of a disturbing-looking character, really. It's freaky. That's the only way I could describe it, is freaky as fuck. But really cool. It kind of looks like an old He-Man action figure or something. Like, it has a long torso, short limbs, well, yeah, I'd say long torso and short limbs, but its arms almost look as long as his fucking legs. Like, it just doesn't. He just looks all wrong. Honestly, he looks all wrong, and his posture looks all wrong. His posture is like a fucking ape. And Omega Red basically has tendrils that seem to be made out of metal that can retract and grab things. And I was going to say, the playstyle of this character is very weird. I mean, he can combo, but he also can do a lot of aerial grabbing. Like he can grab, in the air, midair. he can extend and then retract. It's so the button, it's like you kind of have to have control if you want to pull back on the move instead of completely extend it. Kind of like pulling your punches. It's like when you stretch or if you pull your punch. It's just very weird. Okay, so this character is weird, but it's very fun. It's a very fun character, and I think that the most fun with playing with Omega Red is the fact that the character animations are just so fucking wild. Like they're just crazy looking. So it's kind of like, you know, and what I think is when you string together a continuous, you know, series of grabs, you know, it's just very pleasant to watch. It's like you almost feel like he's floating. He doesn't fly. Now Omega Red does not fly, but he has a very sort of airy sort of a dash in the air, and his backward dash is not that good. It's kind of short. Like I said, it's kind of like just a hop, like a crouched hop, so it's just kind of wild and like not useless, but it just doesn't really cover even much ground, but it's kind of cool to watch. And Omega Red actually can somewhat combo himself, or not really combo, but attack himself across the screen and almost the full screen in midair. So it's very weird. And it's like you feel like when you're playing with this character, you feel like you're playing with more of a vehicle than a person, if that makes sense at times. Or you feel like you're playing with a machine more than a person. So it's a very cool character. This character is worth practicing. It's very awkward. He's very fun to learn, I guess, to learn how to get really good with this character. Like I said before, not a lot of defensive options really, but just grabs, combos, and if you get really like relentless with this character, you can pretty much just wipe characters out, and it's very satisfying, you know. So I figure you probably already know who Omega Red is. I was just really talking more about how I relate to this character because he's so unusual. Like he's unusual, but he's unusual, and it's something that is unusual to me personally as a person, that a character just happens to have certain qualities, you know. And I don't really know a lot about this character's backstory really. I know he has a lot to do with Wolverine, and he's an X-Men character. And I'm kind of gonna stop the ranting part, at least for now here. But I'm gonna say, in my opinion, X-Men characters are actually some of the best characters. And I believe I may have talked about this. I could have talked about this before, but I'm not sure if I did. But I'm going to talk about it now. So X-Men characters are very good because they seem to have very powered, like high-powered moves. They tend to have very, very aggressive type of combos. They seem somewhat versatile, like very versatile, and they're not so overpowered that they feel like, you know, just like complete bosses or something. But at the same time, they're kind of leveled enough to where I feel like when you play with an X-Men character against anyone, you just overall have a fun experience. And sometimes, honestly, you can even feel somewhat like an underdog fighting another X-Men character, you know, because sometimes they do get so crazy. Like I'll give you one, Sentinel. Fighting Sentinel sometimes can feel like you are literally trying to fight a boss, you know. Since it just doesn't, he just seems so powered up or whatever. But then on the same coin, if you're good enough, it just so seamlessly and effortlessly, like you get that underdog feeling, but you also can feel like you're just fighting another character kind of at the same time, even though that sounds like it doesn't make sense, you know. But that's how I feel when I play with X-Men characters. So I'm just saying that they're actually, for the most part, they're some of the best characters that I think were ever made in any Marvel or Capcom installment of anything. X-Men characters shine, in my opinion, just more. Not, I mean, Marvel in general, but X-Men characters in particular tend to shine more than almost any other type of character, in my opinion. And I know someone's going to say, oh, well, what do you like X-Men characters better than Capcom characters? I mean, I would kind of not exactly say that, but kind of. I would say generally, I think they're just generally better, because they just tend to have a certain balance. Capcom characters seem to be more or less recycled. And they feel more recycled, if you ask me. They just feel much more recycled. X-Men characters and Marvel characters just seem to be fresher. I don't know. That's my opinion. I'm going to stop ranting and just, get into the video. Alright, so basically, what I wanted to do in this void, I guess, because it feels to me like I'm just floating. It feels like a void. Like a motionless motion, if you will. most people aren't even gonna even get that reference. But in this part of the video, I was gonna tell a little bit about myself and explain that now. This channel is a very, very young channel. This channel is not old. This channel is fairly new. I don't have many subscribers, so I appreciate every subscriber, every like, comment. And this channel is not really meant to just be Mugen gameplay. This is just something I can do that doesn't require other people. Like, I'm an outdoors person. I'm also a martial artist. I'm also into fitness, so there are things where, like, there's type of training that I can actually show on this channel that I guess, like, I guess I'm not a person who would really want to go into a deep instructional, like, oh, we'll teach you how to do this, or, but at least give you ideas or show you some things that I do or I've done. But for me to, like, basically show you that type of stuff, I need, what's the word? I guess I need more people, people that are willing to be on camera, willing to do whatever I tell them to do, for a video. Like, if I tell someone, hey, we have to train out in the cold, I'm gonna need you to wear, let's say I say, I don't have a mouth guard, right? so you ain't gonna wear no mouth guard, you're not wearing pads, or I say, all you wear is this headgear, or whatever, or, or basically, I could even tell someone, I don't have headgear the time right now, so I could, literally tell them, you're just gonna have to train without, any headgear or whatever, whether this is like, bladed training with weapons, or if it's just hand-to-hand, or if it's some type of more grappling-based training. That's the type of stuff that, not all, but that's some things that I wanted to put on this channel, to basically entertain, because that's all YouTube is, entertain you people with talents that I already have, with skills and talents that I have. So, but that's something that's going to take more time to produce more content like that on this channel. So this Mugen shit we'll have to do for now, So, it's funny because you would never, hearing me talk to you, you honestly would have no clue what it even looks like to watch me in action. You just would have no clue. Most people that do, I feel like most people, I'm not saying I'm 100% right, but I'm saying I feel like most people who do these rants and these video game reviews and rants are pretty much mostly probably inactive people. And I'm not knocking them, I'm just saying they probably don't have a lot of like hands-on skills outside of playing some game, and those are things that I do have, so I could actually show you things that's more than just watching a fucking video game, ranting. So you will understand maybe a little bit why Steve's arms hang low and why Steve does walk like Omega Red a lot of times, and you'll actually understand why I would seem so peculiar. It's because, I mean, I'm just already a fucking freak out of the womb, literally a circus freak out of the womb when I was born. So that is what it is, you know. You don't see a person you don't see a person like me every day on the street. You definitely don't. You just don't. You know, you may never. I don't know. You may never run into someone as freaky as me. So I don't know. But I'm just ranting on that. So, because some people would say it's all on your Mugen. I mean, it's all on your channel, just fucking Mugen videos. No, it's not. Or they might think I'm just a gamer by nature or something. No, this is just a small little thing that I just do. And a lot of just like the drum beat that you're hearing probably right now, or the drum track, that's a track I made myself. I make most of these Mugen tracks I make myself, you know. Sometimes I'll use stuff that's already made. I'm not going to use the C word because, you know, YouTube doesn't want you using things that are, you know, the C word on it, so I'm not going to say that, but you get what I'm saying. But a lot of this stuff I make myself. So a lot of these ambient sounds and tracks and stuff, in ambient music, in background music, I make it all myself. You know, so that's also a talent I have. That's a hobby of mine. You know, that's just something I'm just talking about, because some people may wonder, or maybe they might be like playing watching a Mugen video, and they're like, they just hear music and they don't know where it even came from. They're like, they don't pay it any mind. Sometimes it's probably something that I made, you know. So like, comment, and sub. This is Steve's Art and Fun channel. This channel is supposed to be about recreation. It's really supposed to be about recreation, and has a lot to do with philosophy and spirituality for, you know, for your personal pleasure. Really, it's supposed to be about, you know, you trying to find yourself in how to enjoy life. Really, that's what this channel really. It's really all about recreation, really. But like I said, I can only use the cards I've been dealt now and make the content that I can now. But trust me, if this is more successful, the more time I have, the more money I can make, the more people I can actually find that are trustworthy, able-bodied, maybe have some prior skills, have some prior martial arts skills, have other types of training. Because if people do a lot of things, there are people that even go like hunting, do things that involve you getting outdoors and actually using your body. You know, people that have other talents and skills and traits, that are willing, you know, that are not camera shy, that are not, you know, scared of a camera, obviously. You know, once I get more things going, I can make a lot more variety of type of content on this. And I don't want to be that guy on a channel that just does like one thing, you know, like every time. That's kind of boring and kind of played out, you know, to see someone, they say you're supposed to do that, but I don't know. I don't know. I'm ranting again. Like I said, this is Steve's Art and Fun channel. I'm your host. Steve from the back is the nickname. So, you know, hopefully it's starting to stick in your fucking brain already. And like, comment, and sub. And yeah. Okay, so in this clip where you see me fighting the Blodia, you know what Blodia is. I think I forgot the name of the game. I think it's called Cybernauts, but maybe that's the wrong name. But you know the character Jin, and he's in Marvel vs. Capcom. The Blodia character, that's what that robot is. So you see me fighting the Blodia, and I'm playing as Omega Red, and that's basically just me after, I would estimate maybe about maybe an hour to 2 hours of practice And it's the first time I've actually ever practiced, particularly with that character, to try to sharpen the button commands, try to understand exactly where, because he's really kind of like, Omega Red is like an arrow. He's like, he goes up in a direction, he goes down, and he goes diagonal, so it's kind of not really too complex. It just takes some practice to learn what command that you're inputting does what, and understand where Omega Red is actually landing and what appendage he's going to be like pushing out or whatever. And it takes a lot of timing, I guess, so which is something I'm actually good at. But it just takes practice, which obviously I don't like to practice a lot because I don't like to waste a lot of time playing a video game. But basically, now I'll tell you the like story behind this. The Blodia character is a character that is hard for me, and usually even my best characters, I have so much trouble even beating him once. But to my, pleasant surprise, I whooped his ass in that first round, as you obviously see. He got like what, one combo on me or something, or super combo or whatever, or maybe something here and there. But I whooped his ass. It shows me the potential that Omega Red actually has and what I can accomplish with him if I practice with him. So it was very fun. But I'm gonna have more footage, obviously. I was just showing off, that first round where I literally wiped the floor. I wiped the floor with Blodia. It was hilarious.
Punch. Fight. Fight. Strike!
Round 3, fight!
Mega Strike! Mega Strike! Protect the Mega Strike! Mega Strike!
Fight.
Drill claw. Drill claw. Drill claw. Yeah. Mega strike. Drill mega strike. Mega strike. Mega strike. Drill claw. Drill claw. Yeah. Drill claw. Mega strike. Mega strike. Mega strike.
Round 3. Fight.
Barrage. Mega destroyer. Drill claw. Mega destroyer. Drill claw. Mega destroyer. Drill claw. Drill claw. Mega strike. 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 Drill claw. Let's go.
Fight.
Omega Destroyer! Omega Destroyer!
Fight. Round 2, fight! KO. KO.
Mission complete.
Round 3. Fight!